I spent 5 days fishing with a soft plastic worm, and this is what I learned. Now, before day one, I had to decide which soft plastic worm I was gonna fish with, and let me tell you, there's a lot of options. You've got curly tail worms, straight tail worms, short worms, long worms, and every kind of worm in between. Now, since I wanted to spend every day fishing this worm in a slightly different way, I went with the Strike King filler worm. Not only can it be rigged in multiple different ways, it looks crazy natural in the water, and so with the worm picked, we're gonna head out on the water for day number one in our first rigging, the Dropshot. Day number one, baby, we are out here on the kayak, and I've got my worm here rigged up on a Dropshot. Now, what a Dropshot is a way of rigging your soft plastic worm to keep it off the bottom. Now, there are times, and you're gonna see them in this video, where you want your soft plastic worms to be making contact with the bottom. But other times, especially cold and warm months, fish are suspended in the water column, which means that a bait on the bottom is actually beneath where the fish are looking. So a Dropshot has the weight not attached to the worm itself. Instead, it is below the worm. So when the weight hits the bottom, the worm is actually free floating anywhere from 1 foot to 3 foot above the bottom. And a Dropshot is so stinking simple to work. You cast it out there, let it sink all the way to the bottom, reel in all your slack to get a tight line, and then slowly shake and drag it back to you. And eventually, oh, there you go. You get bit. Let's go, baby. On the Dropshot. How are we thinking? Is it a big one? Not a big one, but a fun one nonetheless. Awesome. On the filler worm, Dropshot got him right where it should, top of the mouth. Let's get ourselves a bigger one though. Oh yes. Uh-oh, this one seems bigger. Oh my gosh, it is big, it is big. Oh my goodness. Dropshot got the big one. Where's my net? Where's my net? Get in my net. Get in my net. Get in my net. Oh my gosh, you're huge. You're huge, yes. Oh my goodness, folks. Day number one, off to a good start. Holy cow, folks, look at that. Filler worm, top of the mouth. That fish would go every bit of 8-9 pounds if it wasn't so skinny. Still beautiful, beautiful fish. That is awesome. Well, that right there, folks, is what you like to see. Shall we do it again? Shake, shake, shake. Shake it like a Shake Shack. Oh, ooh, what's going on down there? I feel some thumping. There we go. Yes, sir. Oh my gosh, another big one, I think. Oh, just a beautiful fish. Oh, gosh. Not a big one, but you are awesome. Oh man, what a healthy, chunky fish right there. That thing would go 3 pounds. Dropshot, didn't have him by much this time, but enough to get him in. And that is so stinking cool. Let's go. And putting the worm back on the Dropshot is super simple. You just put it back over the eye, text pose it like that, and you are ready to go. If you want to see a full instructional video I made on how to fish the Dropshot in every condition, winter, summer, largemouth, smallmouth, I will leave it linked in the video description. There we go. You have some growing up to do, my friend. But I'm grateful. Grateful to have ya. Just wish you were 10 pounds bigger. Well, none of those fish ever got 10 pounds bigger, but you know what? That is okay. And I think the Dropshot was a fantastic first rigging, but we've got plenty more days to go and tons more fish to catch. So let's get on to day number 2, baby. And the rig that I chose today is the Shaky Head. Ooh. Now, why do I choose a Shaky Head? Well, I love a Shaky Head because it is a very compact package. It keeps the worm, the hook, and the weight all together. There's no separation. Therefore, it fits easily in cover and structure and is amazing at catching bass that are in clear water and cold water. Enough talking, let's catch one. There's one. Oh yes, sir. I felt it down there. Oh my gosh, 4 or 5 pounder. All of a sudden, there was nothing to shake anymore. Oh my gosh, get in here. Oh no, holy cow. Yes, holy smokes. I don't know what the heck's up with his body. Got some kind of spine issue, but look at that. Shaky head to the roof of the mouth. Beautiful winter fish. Now that we've shown you guys the Shaky Head works, let's show you how I'm working and retrieving this bait. All I'm doing is making a long cast over my area, keeping my bail open until it's at the bottom every time. I can't stress that enough. Your Shaky Head's gotta be on the bottom. And once you're sure that it's there, reel up your slack, keep your rod tip at, I'd say like, what angle is that? 2 o'clock? 130. And with little to no slack in your line, lightly shake the rod just like this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stand up to show you. You're gonna take your rod and barely move it like this. I'm talking like 1 to 2 inches where your hand meets the rod, which makes the rod tip move I don't know, 4 to 5 inches. So it's little tiny movements, little shakes like this, each time hopping the shaky head a few inches back toward you. You're gonna need to find what the fish want on that specific day, and as soon as you find it, replicate it. It's honestly really similar to the retrieve of a drop shot, which we did on day 1, with one major difference, and that is around grass. Now, because a shaky head is a weedless lure, it can be thrown in and around grass, but the key is to actually kind of get it stuck and then rip it out of the grass to entice a reaction strike from a fish who may be looking at it, checking it out, doesn't know if he wants to eat it or not, and as soon as that worm pops out of the grass, it's like a dinner bell going off and he's gotta take a swipe at it. So I've made my cast to the edge of the grass with the shaky head. I'm gonna reel up my slack and start shaking just like I do in open water. But now I can kind of feel some gumminess, like my bait is stuck. That's because it's stuck in the grass. So I'm gonna feel that gumminess, reel down my rod tip, and then kind of snap my rod tip up, and that causes the bait to jump out of the grass, free itself from any aquatic vegetation, and start to spiral back down. And I'm telling you guys, ripping or popping your worm can catch some dang fish. That's a fish. Holy cow. My gosh. I was like ripping it out. Oh my gosh, a nice one. A nice one. I was like, what the heck? Get out of the grass. It was a fish the whole time. Get in here. Yes, sir. Beautiful 3-pounder. I'll take it. Yes. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that most of my bites are coming within the general area of a point. I don't care what time of the year it is, fish love to sit on points. So I'm gonna focus my efforts the rest of today on the very obvious point areas that are high percentage ambush places for these fish to sit. There we go. Yes, sir. Uh-oh, that one ate it on the fall. Oh, beautiful. Oh, gosh. Yeah, get out of here. Yes, sir. And look at how he ate that shaky head. Absolutely gone. Back of the throat. That fish was not coming off. Just a beautiful specimen. Mwah. Shaky head, success. Oh, are you small? You're not small. You're big. You're big. And the, gosh, dang, and the slow drag. Got him. Shaky head, roof of the mouth. And you know what? I think this fish here is a good ending to day number 2. Well, 2 days are down and now we have 3 to go with the filler worm. But one of the ways that I helped pick the best days to go fishing during this challenge was by using the Bass Forecast mobile app. Bass Forecast is an awesome platform that helps you as an angler understand more about the weather and how it affects your bodies of water and, of course, the fish that swim in them. And this thing is super easy to use. All you got to do is put in your location. It'll spit out a rating from 1 to 10 as to how the bass should be reacting on your body of water on that day and up to 10 days in advance. That's why we call it Bass Forecast, because we look forward to the future weather to help you decide which fishing days to go out on. And if that wasn't cool enough, there are instructional videos that I made, yours truly, for every single lure recommendation and retrieval style inside the app. It is a very helpful app that I've had a hand in helping design. I'm a co-owner of the company, and so I am proud to have this video sponsored by Bass Forecast. I'll put a link for Bass Forecast down in the video description and pinned to the top of the comments. Thanks again to Bass Forecast. Let's get on to day number 3, and today we are fishing the worm on the Nik Rig. The Nik Rig. Whatever the name is, that's what this is. And all you've got to do to set up a Nik Rig is just rig it wacky style, leaving one side longer than the other and shoving the nail in the short side. The Nik Rig is fantastic at catching finicky bass when nothing else will, I guess maybe besides the drop shot. So that is the Nik Rig. We are still using a spinning rod. Hopefully day 4 and 5 we're on a bait caster, but you know what? At least we're not in the kayak. Now, the way that you work a Nik Rig is pretty dang simple. You cast it out there, usually letting it sink all the way to the bottom, then reel in your slack, and just like every other soft plastic, hop it off. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sinking got a fish. Just like that, boys and girls. Absolute giant. And one thing the Nik Rig is definitely good at is catching numbers. It can catch size, but especially if you want a bite, if you need a bite, the Nik Rig is a bait that you should be reaching for in your tackle box. So just cast it out there, let it sink, hop it off the bottom, let it sink. If water is really cold, go with a lighter weight to give it a slower fall rate. And if the water is warm, maybe a little bit heavier. And the great thing about this worm on a Nik Rig is that it is so skinny that it falls through the water really quick and has a really finessey presentation to it. And as you can tell, even small bass can get it in their mouth. So it's a really good numbers bait. Well, folks, I have been disappointed in day 3 so far. Spent about an hour fishing real slowly down this canal system here with the Nik Rig and got 0 other bites. Because besides the drop shot, the Nik is about as finessey as you get. And if these fish ain't biting that, they ain't biting nothing. So I say we pack on up our Nik Rig and go try somewhere else to finish day 3. There we go. Oh yes, felt the thud on that one. Come on, baby, come on, let's go. Hey, little chunker, about 3 times the size of the last one, but that's not saying much. Definitely beautiful quality though. Look at that beautiful little largemouth bass. And like I said, cover and structure are important even with a little finesse bait like this. I made a cast out to the non-functioning fountain and I caught one. Definitely had hopes for more fish and bigger fish, but you know what? I learned 2 things. One that I already knew, but was reinforced, and that is the Nik Rig is great at catching fish, but not always big ones. And number 2, I think the Nik Rig needs a little more depth, and so do big bass. The majority of the big ones are out deep in this pond, and that pond up there, and the pond after that, they just don't have much deep water. So we're gonna ski-daddle, say sayonara to the Nik Rig, and say hello to day number 4. And on day number 4, the filler worm and I traveled all the way up to New York to catch some giant smallmouth bass. And as I rigged the worm in what I thought was a brand new way I had just invented in my head, I was made aware that when you take a worm and add a free swinging weight to the front, that's already been invented. It's called the free rig. I had no idea. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Well, it works. Gosh, what a nice fish. Holy cow. Come on, oh, beautiful. Ooh, look at that. Smallmouth bass right there. A little bit of filler worm action. And I guess my fancy little rigging works. Beautiful. And again, I'm not claiming to have invented the free rig, but at that point when I was filming, I thought that I had. Oh my goodness. Oh, the old shimmy shake. Got it done. Let's go. On the BFS, oh my goodness. Bring it in. Oh, you're gorgeous. Oh, you filler worm eater. Oh, what an absolutely gorgeous bass right there. I'll tell you what, folks, this fish right here is deserving of a kiss. See you, big girl. 4 days in, and what a journey it has been with this worm right here. Without further ado, let's get on to day number 5 on the water with our final rigging of the filler worm. Day number 5 is here with the Strike King filler worm, and my last technique I'm gonna use to catch fish is the jig worm. The jig worm is basically the same as day number 2, the Shaky Head, with the only exception being it is not weedless, and that's kind of on purpose. This jig head is the Outcast Tackle Money jig head, and it's chartreuse on purpose. I'll explain that here in a second. But I'm gonna thread it on there totally straight, just like a swim bait. And the whole purpose behind this is actually to get a little bit snagged in the aquatic vegetation down there, and then give your rod tip a hard snap, and it pulls this thing out, it spirals down, and it gets fish to bite. Now, why is the head chartreuse? Well, here in Minnesota, the bluegills have a kind of clear chartreuse looking tail, and that, along with the fact that I want to get their attention, that's why I use this jig head. Let's catch a fish. There we go. That's one, baby. That's one. Oh, no. That's not one. He wanted the jig worm, though. I'll give you a kiss. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. No, not the species we're after, but it's a fish. Here we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's not a pike. That's a largemouth bass. Got the jig worm corner of the mouth. Thank you, buddy. Right along the top of a point. That is predictable. And believe it or not, the exposed hook really doesn't lead to that many total snags, unless, of course, you're fishing around wood, which then you would not want to throw the jig worm. Oh, is that a fish? No, I got excited. But that right there is the exact kind of grass you want. Beautiful, green. And I couldn't snap out of it that time, but when you can, you get bit. I've got one more cast here before we probably get rained out today. Just one more bass, please.
I have not gone till it's trouble to walk away empty-handed.
Well, sadly, I did walk away empty-handed. No, I'm just kidding. What a fun challenge. That was a blast. And hopefully you guys at home enjoyed this video as well. If you want to see me do another fishing for 5 days or 3 days or 10 days, different lure type, it could be topwater, could be swim baits, could be a jig or a spinnerbait. I want to make some awesome fun videos fishing baits in different places in different ways to hopefully teach you guys things and help you become better bass anglers. Now, if you want to learn 2 different ways to fish a soft plastic worm in Masterclass detail, I'm going to have my Carolina rig video and my wacky worm video. I go into crazy detail about
out both of those soft plastic worm riggings. If you want to pick up a filler worm and any of the terminal tackle pieces I used in this video, I'll have a link down in the video description. My name's Tyler. As always, it's a pleasure, and we'll see you guys next time right here on TRF.